Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Once again, I'm Nev from Nev's Tech, but today I want to have a look at these two sweet, sexy Android boxes, the T95 and the T95 Plus. Now, interestingly enough, the T95 is in the market right now. I think it's only been out for about a year now, and the price has come down to about 65 bucks Canadian, so that's like, what, 40 bucks American? And over here we have the T95Z Plus. So you'd think that this would be faster, and apparently it is. Octa-core versus quad-core, but this one was released, I think I got this one about 3 years ago, and it definitely has octa-core, but it only has Android 7, whereas the T95 has Android 10. Which is almost the newest version of Android. Android 11 is out, and I gotta say, just off the top of my head, I love Android boxes. I love Android boxes. Android boxes represent a giant part of the spirit of the internet that I honestly have to admit includes piracy, but at the same time drives us all forward by having very cheap electronics that unfortunately you can't upgrade, and if they die, they die. And the quality isn't all that good. A lot of this stuff was made in China on the fly to make cheap prices, but it's all our fault because we always want the cheapest thing. So one sad story I have to tell you about the T95Z Plus is I thought this thing was dead. I thought it was dead for the longest time. I could plug it in, this thing would light up, and it kind of broke my heart because I didn't really use it all that much. It turns out, and I only found this while I got this new unit, that the issue all along was the power supply unit. I got the power supply unit from the new one, plugged it in, and it worked just fine. That's the kind of heart-stopping issues that we run into when it comes to cheap electronics. And the thing is, once again, it's all our fault. We want the cheapest stuff, and I had my heart set on the cheapest. And actually, this one wasn't the cheapest. So this is a cheap unit. This was not. This still is not. It originally sold for about 80 bucks. I think it cost about 125 to ship over to me. So you know what? Maybe I should have expected a little bit better. So one of the awesome points about these particular Android boxes is that they actually give you the time. When you're booting, they say boot. That little LED screen is so cool. And this unit has one too. The T95, the newer unit with Android 10 on it. Now we turn off the lights to set the mood, and we can see that the T95Z has some light piping. I don't have light piping on the T95, but check out that image. Oh, I got fingerprints on it already. Some of the stuff you only see when you're actually recording. Anyways, let's plug that one in and see what it looks like. Yeah, you know, I probably shouldn't start these videos with the teardown part, but whatever, I do what I want. By the way, you should really never play with electronics while they're plugged in like this, unless you're like a level 9 intelligence like I am. I use a brain every day. Anyways, let's have a look directly on the board. Looks like we got brand name memory. I want to say that's called Memorex, but I know I'm wrong on that. It's going to come to me as soon as I put the camera down, and I'll kick myself in the face. DW8, so okay, so that's an interesting chip. I don't often see chips with that kind of aluminum on top of that. I wonder if that's for separating the heat, spreading the heat. Of course, we have the reset button right here. If you need to reset it, you put something through there, click it, reset. Network, HDMI, power, USB, only 2 of them, and then SD. I guess 2 USBs is about all you need. I don't think the Plus really had much more than 2. No, even the Plus only had 1. No, the Plus had 2. Plus had 2. Anyways, we have a look at the other side, and then we have the not Memorex. Look at this, I'm actually right. And then down here, always love to get the little information that they put on the sides of these that you'll only understand if you were in the factory or of level 10 intelligence. One really interesting thing about these units is they have weights on them. The older one has a bigger weight, and that comes from the mentality that something shouldn't be expensive unless it's heavy. I see people doing it all the time. They put extra weight in certain things like vases and stuff, and I'm at secondhand stores and I see people testing things by the weight all the time. It's like if it's light, it's not actually worth it. So people just put hunks of metal on there. That adds to the shipping fee, that adds to all of it, but hey, if it makes people feel better about their electronics. It's almost as if people judge their electronics based off how much damage they could cause if thrown. So yeah, let's get into the specs. Of course, quad core, 1.5 gigahertz each core, And when at rest, it seems to be at 450 megahertz. 4 gigabytes RAM, 32 gigabytes of memory, and then of course the ports for expandable. Look it up here, they left me some fuzzies. Those are actually there before I started recording too. I admit it, I am totally a typical consumer. I mean, I look at this thing, if this thing was lighter, I'd be like, this isn't actually worth the money I paid for it. These things have definite showability. They don't just sit there like your average VCR or your DVD player would. Or maybe they do. Look at the sticker on there. That makes it so much nicer to have that sticker on. Yep, stickers make everything nicer, right? There we go. These things are definitely a sign of our times, though. Android boxes, I mean, they're ultimately super cheap. They're made super cheap. And once a certain point comes, you just have to throw them out. Like, for example, I can't update this to Android 10. So the picture is actually pretty good. I'm not sure if I can actually get 4K out of this. This TV only goes up to 1080. But still, it definitely looks really good. You guys ever see this video? They did the whole thing in one take. I can't believe it. I'm not even a big fan of the music, but I am when I think about the music video being done in one take. Remember when music videos were a big thing and part of how we hung out and whatnot? The colors are relatively good. Once again, I can't vouch that this thing can do 4K. I would definitely recommend getting a media center keyboard for something like this. You need to make sure that you don't lose the generic remote, because I can't get this thing to work or like go home without actually hitting the home button on the device. Once again, there's no buttons on the actual unit itself. You got to make sure you keep the remote control. Fear not, my friends, for we do play Doom. Man, I just love to tick these characters off, these bad guys, and then make them fight each other. The infighting in this game, it never gets old. It never gets old. Man, this is so much fun, and it lets you use the Xbox remote. You just have to have the USB connection, and away you go. It should be said that the remote is definitely infrared, so it'll only work if it has, if it can bounce light onto the sensor on the unit. So right now this thing is multitasking. I have Doom, other things running in the background, and I have no way to multitask and to close them. So what I have to do is go all the way down here and hit that clean button. It uses that little video, and then it will close the things running in the background. But that's the only way to close those things. Aw, that kind of blows. Fortnite doesn't work on this thing. The kids, their hearts are going to be broken. What? Alright, so here we are testing some PUBG. Definitely seems like it's working. It definitely doesn't work with the remote, but with the keyboard I can use the ASDW buttons. Alright, so it's pretty glitchy. But it definitely could be worse. Man, you guys remember when these games were like new and a big deal? Next up, let's take a look at the memory speed tests. The internal, we get 43 megabytes a second write, and 38 megabytes a second read. Now here I'm testing an external USB 3, got a read speed of 38 megabytes a second and a write speed of about 14. Okay, so check out this good stuff here. We got a light to say if we're on the Wi-Fi and a light to say if we're on the network over on the left hand side right next to the time. That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool, folks. It should be said that you can watch videos on this, which is basically the one major thing. So all in all, is it worth the money? Absolutely it's worth the money. This thing's just so little and small and cute, and for the price it makes a perfect little video player. If you don't have a smart TV, this thing can definitely help you out. If you want to play a little bit of Android on the side, this thing will definitely help you out. Once again, definitely worth the money. I definitely think you guys should check this thing out. It's been a while since I had a good Android TV. But at the same time, they are kind of junky, but you get what you pay for. Folks, that's it for me. Never from NESTech, but like and subscribe if you like this stuff. It's always appreciated. And as always, take care of each other.